When darkness falls, we are reborn. The prison unfolding man, we are reborn. When darkness falls, we are reborn. The presence of holy man, we are reborn. When darkness falls, we are reborn. The presence of holy man, we are reborn. All right. Welcome back to another episode of my movie review series. I hope you like the concert. Yeah, man. Okay. Yep. Because I did that, I was it's a little story behind that, See, back when I did the well, I didn't do nothing. I mean, back when I saw this movie, this is episode 30, by the way, of my movie review series. So yeah, back when I saw this particular movie I'm about to review right now, which is Freddy versus Jason. Back when I saw this movie in theaters, I don't really think. Well, I thought a lot of it, and you'll see why. But yeah, when I sitting through the closing credits, listen to all those different metal songs, and this song right here, this previous song that was just been played, "Darkness Falls" by "When Darkness Falls" by Killswitch Engage. I yeah, he sounded pretty good to me. Yeah, I kind of liked it. I mean, I'm not even the type of guy that will listen to a song like that. But hey, I listened to that song. I liked it, man. It was sounded real good, man. Tell you that. Yeah, so sitting through this movie, and then listen to that song. That was a nice little movie going experience of mine. Back in 2000, 2002. I believe. Was it 2002? Is it 2002? I'm sure it is 2002. Somebody help me out here. 2003. Back when 2003 when this movie came out. But yeah, man, I tell you though, awesome, awesome. But yeah, I'm reviewing Freddy vs. Jason. This is the episode 30 of my movie review series, and welcome back and everything like that. I just covered those. So yeah, man. Well, Freddy vs. Jason. I mean, this is it, man. This is the I'm not even gonna say the build up because there was nothing built up to it. I mean, you had the ending and the shocking ending, the surprise ending in Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday, and Jesus' mask is laying in the sand, and next thing you know, Freddy's glove come up, pulls the mask under. You hear that laugh. That got everybody in a huge whirlwind tailspin. And yeah, it was on after that. The shit was on after that. I remember listening, this was back in uh, 95. I remember hearing a little rumor, a little snag of a rumor that they were doing a Freddy vs. Jason. And Freddy vs. Jason was in development. A Freddy vs. Jason movie in development. And this is, 1995. This is after Jason Goes to Hell, which was like, what, 2 years before. So that seed was planted. And then they went on with it. They took that ball and they started to run with it. And they kept running. All the way to 2003. They kept running with that ball because that's how long it took them to get this movie made, get this movie finished up, get this movie released into 2003. And that's where we saw it, man. That's where we finally saw it. Yeah. Freddy versus Jason. Now, I remember, locker room talk, people talking locker rooms, right? And the question was asked, 1984, the question was asked right after the original Nightmare on Elm Street came out. The question was asked. Picture this: you being a teenage boy, you're in a locker room, you're changing with your buddies, about to get on the football field or whatever, gym class, whatever, and you just saw this movie. This is like Monday. You just saw this movie on Friday. You ask your boys, who do you think would win in the street fight? Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees? And that was the question, man. That was the question. Everybody been asking that question for years, Everybody for years. They've been asking that question, man. Who you think will win in the street fight? Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees? And yeah, people been asking that question for years. Next thing you know, 1993 come around, they do a movie called Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday, and you get that famous scene. famous end scene. So yeah, man, people had that in their heads for years. I remember watching this show on VH1 a few years back. Before VH1 went to hell with these stupid ass reality shows. They had this show called The Great Debate, and it was based off of you know, comparisons to things that will eventually come together. Like like which song, which sports anthem is the best anthem. You know, we will we will rock you, or shit. What the hell is that song? Na, na, that song. Which one is the best sports anthem? And the people that were doing the analysts, they said, that they eventually said "We Will Rock You" is the best one. I mean, once you think about it, yeah, it starts off a game. You know, most teams use it when they get fired up. So yeah, that song, "We Will Rock You," and of course it's done by Queen, one of the greatest rock bands of all time. So yeah, that song, they pretty much won the debate. And of course, since that song, done by Queen, it usually be followed up by another song done by Queen, "We Are the Champions." So you can't go wrong with those cats. You really can't go wrong. So we will rock you, and then we are the champions, my friend. After that, you really can't go wrong. Only time you hear only time you hear that song is when halftime is over. You come back in halftime, you getting your ass back on the field, you get your ass back on the court, whatever game you playing, whatever sport you playing, you come back from halftime. It's time to get rolling again. It's time to get rolling again, because we already was fired up with the. Okay, I'm getting off tangent here. I mean, I'm talking about music, man. This whole thing started off with music. What is this, a music episode? A musical episode? What is this, a musical? Usually TV shows do that. They will get you in that musical episode, But yeah, this is not it. There's no musical. I'm just getting off tangent. But anyway, yeah, with the great debate, that's which one's better, that song "We Will Rock You" or that song whatever the hell it's called. I forgot. I don't care, because "We Will Rock You" is much better. Anyway, also in that great debate, it was Freddy or Jason. Who was better? Who was the better horror killer? Whatever it was, but yeah, it was Fred Krueger or Jason Voorhees, and the majority ruled. It was Jason. He was. He's the silent killer. He will come at you when you're not expecting, everything like that. So yeah, man, you cannot go wrong with the best of the best. And Jason Voorhees is the best of the best. Yeah, I said it. I said it. Yeah, me. Yeah, the avid Jason guy. I said it. And I'm gonna keep saying it too, baby. I'm gonna keep saying it. Yep. Yeah, man. The question, well, that debate has been going through everybody's minds for years, man. For years. You know, who is better, Freddy or Jason? Who will win in a street fight, Freddy or Jason? And so that question has been going around for years, man. And finally get it. You finally get the answer. finally get it through this movie right here, Freddy versus Jason. Man, this movie, this is what people have been waiting on, you know. And in certain aspects, it did deliver. You know, it did deliver. This movie, Freddy vs. Jason, it did deliver. Okay, in certain aspects, it delivered. But in other aspects, oh man, who wrote this fucking movie? Let's see here. The writers of this movie, this screenplay, written by Damian Shannon and Mark Swift. Now tell me something, Damian Shannon and Mark Swift. Was it your idea to make Jason a real punk bitch? Because that's exactly what you did to him in this movie. I mean, he was completely out of character in this movie. I mean, you gave Jason emotions in this movie, this particular movie. You fucked up my favorite horror character in this movie. Was it your idea to do that? Or was it the director, Ronnie Yu? Fuck you, Ronnie. Fuck you, Ronnie. That's what I gotta say about it. This movie right here, it's a love-hate relationship I have with this movie. I love the movie, and I hate it. Very simple. At the same time. But yeah, man. What more do you really have to say about it? Well, I'm gonna give you more to say about it. This movie right here, not only you fucked up Jason Voorhees, his character. I mean, by the way, anybody that played the Friday the 13th game, well, anybody that played it, a lot of people are playing it on Steam. Anybody that played it there on Steam, you know, if you're on Steam and you got that, you downloaded that game, you know, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos and I've seen how it is done to kill Jason. And it's awesome. It's awesome. You gotta work in the strategy though. And I've seen a lot of YouTube videos before the game came out. You know, they had the beta test back in late last year. You know, yeah, I've seen a lot of those videos, and yeah, these cats, man, they pretty much have mastered Jason. You know, Jason is supposed to be a force of nature, not no soft ass, emotional little bitch that they made him in this movie. He's supposed to be a real force of nature. He's supposed to really come out there, come give you a grab, choke your ass out, give you a grab, break your fucking neck, give you a grab, rip your jaw off, you know, give you a grab, put you through the wall, stomp on your back, you know. That's the Jason that I was growing up watching, you know. You know, kind of Jason that will ram a pitchfork right through you without thinking twice about it. Kind of Jason that jammed that machete right into you without thinking twice about it. That's the kind of Jason that I was watching, you know. Kind of Jason that will punch your head right off your shoulders, let it go flying. That was the Jason that I knew. Yeah, Jason that would just crush your head and your eyes pop out. That was the Jason I knew. You know, not this guy. I mean, this Jason. Of course, hey, you know, throughout the years of me watching Jason, you know, I watched a lot of guys portray Jason, whether it was two guys, not just one, but two guys play Jason in part two, even though one is much more recognized because, you see him unmasked, you would get, you would get him mostly, not the other gentleman that played Jason in that movie. But then, part three, you know, the late Richard Brooker. He's the one that had the mask. First time you see the mask, he walked out with it. And then, four with Ted White, most people have him as their favorite. And then, CJ Graham in six. And then you have the man himself, the main man himself, part 7, 8, Jason Goes to Hell, 9, Jason X, 10, Kane Hodder. You get that cat as Jason. Now, with that cat alone, he gave another interpretation of Jason. He gave, as he said in interviews, not only he's like a zombie at this point, but he wanted to make him as a person also. So he gave Jason quite a bit of a personality. Plus, he had to really project his acting through all of that makeup and all of that, through the costume, the full body makeup, the face makeup, the mask, the threads that he was wearing in all four of those movies. That was different in all four of those movies. The same as the makeup, because it was different makeup artists and different costume designers. He gave him a nice little projection through that. Great body language through it. The most famous body language he gave was the heavy breathing. You get him heavy breathing through a mask in 4 films. That was Jason right there. The way Jason would turn his head. That was Kane right there. That's the way he did it, baby. The way Jason would turn around. Stuff like that. That was Kane right there. You would get Kane Hodder and everything. And that's exactly what you got in that Friday the 13th game if you played it. You got Kane Hodder. You didn't get CJ Graham. You didn't get Ted White. You didn't get Warrington Gillette. You got Kane Hodder. You didn't get Derek Mears. You got Kane. Because that's what people are. That's what people identify the most. That's what they ask for. When the fans speak, listen. That's Jason for you. So yeah, man. With this movie though, this particular movie right here, where it was Kane. He wasn't in this movie. Not even for a second. No, the gentleman that played Jason in this movie, Ken Kirsinger. Never heard of him, right? I know. But, if you watch the closing credits in a few Friday the 13th films, mostly the Kane Hodder era, if you watch the closing credits, you will see Ken Kirsinger's name as stunt coordinator. So, he and Kane, they have worked together closely throughout the years. Kane, he would be stunt coordinator in Ken's movie when Ken he's doing the stunts. Kane, he would be a stunt coordinator, but when Kane is doing the stunts, he's the head stunt guy. Ken Kirsinger, he would do the stunt coordinator. So. Well, but in this movie, though, Kane Hodder, he was not the stunt coordinator in this movie. He had no involvement in this movie, even though he could have, he would have, he should have, but he didn't. So you got Ken Kersinger in this movie right here. So yeah, man, I tell you something. You got Robert Englund coming back as Fred Krueger for the last time. By the way, after this he hung up the glove. It was over for him. Yeah, for the last time, yeah, he hung up the glove. So that was it for him. It was no more Freddy after Robert Englund doing it. Not for a long while, in a way. So after that, he was done. But if you hear Kane in a few interviews, he wouldn't mind going doing Jason again. And that holds a place in my heart. So yeah, man. In this movie, no Kane. You get Ken Kersinger. And the way he played Jason, he this incredibly slow moving Jason like Frankenstein's monster. And then you get him showing a lot of emotion and everything like that. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. For any fucking millennial out there, any kid out there that think they know Jason because they've seen this movie right here, they think they know Jason, guess what? You don't know shit about Jason Voorhees, kid. Go and do some fucking homework. Watch the Paramount films and then come back and talk to me. Okay? Now, you know, with that being said, you got Kane Hodder not being in this movie, but Ken Kersinger being in this movie, and he portraying um, this particular Jason, this particular interpretation of Jason. Because every single guy that played Jason had a certain interpretation. Richard Brooker, he was like the shark from Jaws. Um, Ted White, he was a real force of nature. He was really going through. You burrowing, he just barreling through. One cabin to another, even just work in the woods. And then you had C.J. Graham, who was um, Jason, and he was like this dark Terminator. Just walking through. Even Paul walking through, but he was doing his thing. Crushing heads and shit like that. And then you got Kane Hodder, who was the definitive Jason. He was the man behind the mask. He was the man behind the mask. Yeah, he came back 3 times after part 7. Crawling out of that hole. Yeah, boy. Alice Cooper. But anyway. But Ken Kersinger, he did it in a much more different fashion. So, you know, uh, so with that going on, it was just, very out of character, very unusual to see, and at certain moments it was a bit painful to see that we seeing Jason in this way. This is not my Jason. I mean, this is that Jason Voorhees that I was watching, a bunch of years earlier. But yeah, we got it. Some of us liked it, some of us didn't. On the other hand, I liked it, and then I didn't like it, but at the same time, I did like it. That makes sense. But yeah, you know, uh, but yeah, man. Let's go to let's do something I haven't done in a long while since I've did that 20th episode, which you can see right here on this card. this 20th episode special. Let's go through the pros and cons of this. Now you got Kane. I wish Kane Hodder was in this movie. You got Ken Kirsinger as Jason, and yeah, that is a huge con on its own. But in the pro side, you did get Robert Englund. Not only coming back as Freddy, but he was the dark and sinister Freddy, not the stand-up comedian in the sequels. He was the dark and sinister Freddy that we really fell in love with. We got to know in part 1 and 2 and 3. That Fred Krueger right there, he came back as that. And another con in this movie is the fact that this movie is 100% pro Freddy. It's pro Freddy. I mean, it was more of an Elm Street film than it was a Friday film. I mean, they gave Freddy a goddamn highlight reel. A fucking highlight reel in the opening of the film. Okay, when Krueger is giving off the monologue, my children, from the very beginning, he gave him a goddamn highlight reel of everything that he done in the past films, all the M Street films, The Springwood Slasher, that's what they called me. I can't come back. As nobody's afraid of me, I can't come back. I can't come back as nobody remembers me. I can't come back when nobody's afraid. I had to search the bowels of hell, but I found someone who will make them remember. He may get the blood, but I will get the glory, and that fear is my ticket home. I mean, we got that Fred Krueger. Being dead wasn't a problem, but being forgotten, now that's a bitch. But yeah, in all fairness, it was in all fairness, it was the writers of this movie, Damian Shannon and Mark Slick. I wonder if he's related to Taylor. But yeah, man. In all fairness, they're the ones that wrote it, so I guess you get to have. But it's also a New Line Cinema production, so of course Bob Shea is going to grind his knuckles into it and give you a nice little highlight reel of his flagship character from his flagship films. It wasn't a New Line Cinema if it wasn't for Freddy, so keep that in mind, folks. Boys and girls out there, children of all ages. So yeah, man, I'll tell you something. Yeah, Freddy vs. Jason, it was it is a huge splatterfest. I mean, a huge bloodbath. One hell of a smackdown. And we were waiting years to see these two go at it, and we finally got them together. Just like another movie I'm going to review further down the road between two iconic characters that we wanted to see go at it, and we finally got them together. And the same goes for that movie. Not many people liked it, but there are people that did. So yeah, in all fairness, it was because of the writing. It's all because of the writing. And nothing goes down unless there's a story before. So yeah. So, more pros and cons coming here. Another pro. Who else could it be but Monica Keena? Hey, this is my review, so I'm going to talk about Monica Keena. Okay. So yeah, man, Miss Monica Keena. Oh my God. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yes. hmm hmm What can I say about her? What can I say that I have not said already? you know, if you know, if anybody knows me through the Skeleton Crew group page, you know that I do not shy away from any mention of Monica Keena. Not at all. You know, I may say something here and there, but it won't be in a negative aspect because I'm not that kind of asshole that's going to talk about a woman that I still find interesting. Sorry, I'm not that guy. You'd think I would be, but I'm not that guy. But yeah, man, Monica Keena, 100% pro in this movie. And then a con in this movie, Oh yeah, another con. I think this is a bigger pet peeve for me in this movie than Jason himself. I mean, you got the notion again. It all goes back to the writing with Shannon and Swift. You got the notion that Jason is afraid of water. Since when the fuck in any Friday the 13th film have Jason ever been afraid of going in the water? When when have you seen that? In any Friday the 13th film, you know, three. He was in the water. He ain't afraid to go in there. Four. He killed a girl in the water. He killed a guy while he was in the water. He wasn't afraid to get in there. And then there was six when Tommy was out in the boat. Tommy was calling him out. That's it. Come on, Maggothead. That's it. Come on. Hey, asshole. It's me you won't remember. Come on. Come on, chicken shit. Come on, standing here waiting. Come on, you pussy. You know, what did Jason do? He was not afraid to go in that water. I mean, he went in there until he finally submerged under. Next thing you know, popped back up, gave Tommy a good scare, nice little fight. He was not afraid to go in that water. And then you have part seven. Well, Jason was in the water the majority of that movie. In the beginning, anyway, because he was in that deep slumber. He was pretty much dead. So yeah, when Jason woke up, he woke up and he was in the water. And like he jumped out the water, like nah. When he woke up, he was in the water. He got up, showing that sexy ass skeletal back of his, walking towards shore, like the fucking gangster that he is, that Kane portrayed him as in that movie. Yeah. And then you had 8. Yeah, I'm going through all the Jasons because I'm trying to prove a point that he is not afraid of the water. And then you got him in this movie that he isn't. He's in the water, but no, he wasn't in the water, but water was coming down on him. He was in the dream sequence. The first fight he had with Freddy, he was in the dream sequence, and he was in the water, and not in the water, but he had water sprinkling down on him. It was an Jason threw Freddy, and he hit a pipe burst, water coming down. He got a nice little waterfall right between them. You know, Jason is gonna come in. He's gonna whack Freddy with his machete, but then he stops because he got this pretty much this force field here, this field of water. Oh, so you are afraid of something after all, huh? No, he's not afraid. But here he is in this movie though, which is complete and utter bullshit. Bull fucking shit. I swear to God, man. I mean, I do not want to get fired up because of that. I do not want to get fired up again like I did with that Batman and Robin review while I was talking about Dark Knight Rises. I do not want to get fired up, so I'm not going to get further into the fact that Jason was afraid of the water in this fucking movie because you got these two goddamn kids here that have not seen a fucking Friday the 13th film if their life depended on it, obviously. So yeah, man. And I'm going to get into that. No, no, So you're not gonna get me all fired up again. No, you two motherfuckers. I swear to God. Fuckers. Yeah, I tell you though. Oh boy. Yeah, Jason was afraid of the water. Big fucking con. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. Jason, he was more human in this movie than what Kane would have made him, man. I mean, Jason, he showed injury. He had a fucking limp at a point. Freddy whacking him with the machete. Give it up. Yeah, Jason, he's showing pain. What is that shit? Jason don't show no pain. He don't feel pain. But I tell you though, yeah, this movie has its good points, has its bad points. I tell you, as a fan of R&B music, I did like the fact that Kelly Rowland was in this movie. Kelly Rowland, the Destiny's Child, she was one of the original members before they lost those two girls, and then they got two more girls, and then one girl left, and then they became a trio, and that's where they're at right now, still with those three girls, Beyonce, Kelly, and Michelle. Kelly was the one that did this movie, so yeah, it was good to see Kelly in this movie. I liked it. I liked that. Yeah, she's not exactly the good girl that she would be in real life, huh? Mm. Yeah, that was nice. That was real nice. And then you had Catherine Isabel in this movie. Wow, man, what a cutie she is. And nice little body on her, too. Unfortunately, it wasn't her body in that shower. But then, yeah, man, you got those two hot chicks, but nothing compares to Monica Keena, though. Nothing compares to Monica Keena. Nothing compares to you. Yeah, I'm singing. I guess this is a musical episode. Oh yeah. So yeah, man. This movie though, it's just it has its good points, it has its bad points, and you will hit a lot of good points in this movie. I mean, he has some real good lines in this movie. He, what did that cat Mark say? You want some free advice? Coffee. Make friends with it. I mean, yeah, you know, dealing with Fred Krueger, yeah, that's what you're gonna have to do. I mean, Nancy did it in the original film, so yeah, coffee. Make friends with it, Jack. hmm You do with Fred Krueger. Load up on caffeine. So yeah, and then you got the hero in the movie. The hero, sort of the hero. Not only Monica Keena's character Lori, she was the hero. overall. She had her boyfriend in the movie. Will. He was kind of the hero. He was the second fiddle of this whole thing. So yeah, man, you got Lori, you got Will, and then you have Jason as an unsung hero. Yeah. Jason as the hero? Man, I swear. I actually did want to hit something. Man, just me doing this here. I actually did want to hit something. I'm starting to get fired up thinking about this movie. Wow. Never thought I would get fired up. Maybe because I never talked about this movie. Not in this way, not in this fashion. So yeah, man. This movie here, yeah, it has its good points, it has its bad points, and apparently the bad points is really getting me all fired up. So, I'm just not going to really get much more into this movie. All I can say is that Freddy versus Jason, you know, it had its moments. I mean, it was the Super Bowl of horror. Only thing is, you know, uh, you had Cowboys against the 90s Cowboys, by the way, against the Green Bay Packers. Brett Favre. Cowboys, Troy Aikman. Two huge, monstrous quarterbacks going straight against each other. But with Troy Aikman, you don't get Troy Aikman in the game. You get second string. Why would you get second string to play in the Super Bowl when we were expecting to see Troy fire that cannon? Why would you do that? I mean, like I said, fuck you, Ronnie. Fuck you, Ronnie. Ronnie, you. But yeah, that's all I get to really say about it. Freddy vs. Jason, baby. Yeah, this movie was it was supposed to be the shit, but it wasn't really the shit. But it is good entertainment, though. I have to say, the fight was epic. They kept going. They kept going until they pretty much wore each other out. You didn't really have a definitive winner between the two of them. I mean, Jason, he may have got the last hit in, giving Freddy back his arm, ramming the glove through his chest. Looking like this here. you know, that's what you got with the end of the fight between them. But Monica Keena, Little Miss Badass herself. Mm. She had Jason's machete. Freddy, he's down his knees with his glove sticking out of his chest. And then you have, Lori here. Welcome to my world, bitch. Took his head right off. Home run swing with that machete. Took his head right off. Flying in the water. Yeah, she walk over to Jason's drifting body. Little Miss Badass herself. In that hero pose. Looking all good, even though she's covered in blood and she's all wet. All wet from the water. Yeah, she got some blood on her, standing there looking like a badass, Yeah, seeing Jason drift away, and so she give Miss Machete back. So yeah, I'll tell you, yeah. So in all aspects, it was really Monica Keena that won the fight. She won. She won the fight. So okay, yeah, yeah. The movie was it's solid. it's a solid picture. It's a solid flick. It's a solid film. It's a solid movie. It's solid. Okay. Even though it had its weak points, it still has strong points. And eventually strength do overcome all aspects of weakness. So yeah, it had some real good, strong, solid points. So yeah, it's a solid movie. I give it a 3 out of 5. My first 3 out of 5, 3 out of 5. My first 3 out of 5 rating throughout this whole movie review series. With the Lethal Weapon films, I did the all 4 movies. I gave them a straight 5 out of 5 for all 4 movies because nostalgia was talking. But then yeah, with this movie right here though, a 3 out of 5. I mean, the review I did on Mother's Day, that was a 4 out of 5. Mother's Day is better than Freddy vs. Jason, even though Mother's Day is trauma. Wow. Wow, that says something. That says something. Woo! Man, oh man. Yeah. Like I said before, fuck you, Ronnie. Fuck you, Ronnie. You should have did us a favor and not do the movie at all. The last movie he did was Bride of Chucky, and look how that turned out. Some people liked it, some people didn't. But still, Christ. I seriously do want to hear something. But yeah, I'll tell you that. Yeah, 3 out of 5, Freddy vs. Jason, Freddy vs. Jason, 3 out of 5. This is movie 3 out of 5, you know. Dark and Sinister Freddy, Monica Keena. Only thing makes me calm down. But yeah. Other than that, good entertainment and good solid entertaining fun. And yeah. That's my review, and I'm sticking to it. Next week, I'm coming back with another movie review, but I'm going back to the action, Tonight was horror. Next week, it's going back to the action, and it's going to be, Jean-Claude Van Damme fighting the Kumite. So yeah, you'll stick around for that. And don't forget, check out my other reviews right here. I just got finished with the with a trifecta of Arnold films, and subscribe right here. And until next time, in the meantime, right now, show off.